Streaming. Morning. Hello, everybody. This is Fide Senior Trainer and International Master Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority Gujarat and Gujarat State Session to this intermediate training session. I will continue with my topic analysis of Olympiad Games and lessons from that. So, first of all, I wish everybody a happy Janmashtami, and this will should bring you happiness and all your wishes come true. Now, to present with, I will start the game. Irrigation Arjun versus Dominic West. Irrigation Arjun's meteoric rise in last 4 5 years from 2200 to 2700 is really great jump, and he's playing very solid, very good in calculation, and an asset for the Indian team, and that helped Indian team to clinch bronze medal. Now I have included some games of bouquets also today. First, let us see go through the game. Erigasi versus Dominic Guez. Dominic Guez is a established grandmaster, 2754 rating. So the class is very important. Hello, Pankaj Ganatra. Good morning. Now, so Dominic Guez goes for the super solid Indo-Indian. Here, many lines white can play Queen C2 is the classical way to play, not allowing double pawns. Or white can play E3, BD3, or Knight E2. It's a reasonably good position. So Erigasi goes for F3 line. In fact, this is not so dangerous for black. Probably he is getting prepared as a surprise win. I don't think it promises a guaranteed advantage because black has two replies. He can play D5 the classical way, or he can play C5 also. For example, now C5 is an interesting alternative. Now D5 is not good because after the pawn into pawn and that's D6 and not such a nice position. Now if you play pawn takes pawn, then you lose the center. Now for example, suppose pawn into pawn, you lose the center. On D5, black has two good replies. He can play here knight h5 because the plan is e4. White will never get a chance to play e4. Now queen h5 is a threat. Queen h4 is a threat. So what is he going to do for queen h4? What is he going to do queen h4? That means you got to stop knight h3. Now f5. So there is no time to play e4 now. This is one way. What happened? I think Istvan Som played this once, and it is possible. I think even Gennady Kuzmin also played against Ivan Farago and had a fantastic position. Other than this, also black can play bishop takes knight. Now pawn into now queen a5. Now there is a you can't give material. You cannot give bishop b2 is just stupidly placed. The bishop is terrible. You will just castle when the bishop has no impact in the game. It's just bad. After e4 d6, the position is wonderful. Can't open pawn into bishop into this bad position. And if you place bd2, which is more reasonable, black can play d6, d4, black can play knight, this stopping e5. Now you need to develop the knight e5. The idea now bishop comes with a tempo. Now there is a mid thread, and now the bishop comes out. The plan is the simply king comes and here the king is safe, and after that he will start advancing the pawns on the king side. Not good, not a good position. Now f4 doesn't work. F4 doesn't work. You can have tempo here as well. Tempo and then knight d7 or simply knight coming also gets a good game. So here the whole point is that it is interesting to play bc3 and then knight s5. Both lines are good for black. Of course, white has his plan also. You don't have to do everything what I said, but Erigas's game opponent played here d5. Bishop into knight will simply surrender double bishop, and white has good center. Bishop into knight is not correct. Hello, Hitesh Patel. Good morning. Now bishop e7, e4. White has got very good pressure on the center. Now pawn e5 is coming. Necessary. Now the simple thread. Now if he castles pawn into pawn, if he castle, it is just bad. Just bad. Pawn into, and this is terrible position. Fantastic. That knight f3 with fantastic center and mobile king side pawn stop. Not a good idea. So he has to take pawn into only move. Now it is debatable whether white's center and is more stronger than his weakness on king side. Whether black can exploit it. So white king side is underdeveloped and king in center. But Erigassi's calculation is par excellence. I have seen some of his games. His calculation is fantastic. Of course, his judgment is also good. You can't reach without a good strategic judgment to 2700 level. So he has crossed 2700. Yet another feather in Indian chess players, I mean, young players array. No comments necessary. There is no comment as well. Now bishop g5 is very annoying. If you play bishop g5, then the rook on f1 and threatening to shatter the castle position. So necessary to stop. The weakness on king side. Okay, this weakens the dark square, but Agassi has a plan in mind. You see, if the pawn was not on s3, bishop would have come to g4. So his prophylactic move is doing good. Make sure that b5 break does not come. Now white has an advantage of center, the pass pawn, protected pass pawn. But black can give the gambit any moment and unsettle, open the position. So make sure that there is no pawn break and securing the queen. Of course, it was also possible to fix the pawn b7 and backward pawn. This was necessary, but I think what Erigaisi is doing more scientific. The reason is now b5 is not a threat and is preparing to develop the bishop in the long diagonal. It's also a good idea. There is no threat. There is no threat. All the squares are well guarded. S2, G3, F4. So there is no danger. So now it's again good move because this is a threat he's giving. Wants to exchange and the game will steer towards end game with a protected pass pawn on d and backward pawn on b7. Necessary. Anyway, So game is steering. Now pieces are exchanged. Now more pieces will be exchanged, and the end game is clearly favorable for white. The reason is not only a pass pawn, that white king is also active. Please note this factor. Once queen's off the board, the king will be aggressive. Then practical purpose, white will be playing like an extra piece. This end game, white is playing with five pieces. Two knight, bishop, rook, and king. Black is no king is not active, and his pass pawn is cramping completely, taking away square from his pieces. Backward, even this is not going to help. Trying to help, already behind in development. If he plays this, then knight will come to him. Then there is more problem. There is more problem will he will face. So exchanging rooks does not matter. But I think exchanging rook was safer way. It's quicker because the king is coming and it is easy. But anyway, Erigasi has own plan, keeping the rook on the board for more opportunity. The idea knight a4 and making him completely passive. The black pieces are very passive and also cramped. Black is suffering from lack of space and also no counterplay. White's only weakness is the b3 point or a5. He cannot approach, and black cannot approach neither of the point. And the white king is more active. And the trump card, not allowing the knight to become free. Now the this knight cannot come out. That means the bishop cannot come out, and there is a backward pawn. So now white is playing with the active king and bishop will regroup. There is nothing better he can do. Forced, and now decisive advantage. Now you can conclude the position is now winning. If I would not have seen the name, if the names were not known to me, I would have thought that Karpov is playing white. This is really great, fantastic demonstration. No hurry. He is in no hurry to give a pawn check. So unhurriedly he continues. And I think the game is practically over. F7 pawn is under danger. Miserable, forced, forced. Now two pass pawns. The whole the king side is also there is too slow black lost. Lost. Bishop a4 devastating. It's wonderful game. I appreciated that at the moment. See, okay, this this move is good. Excellent move. Prophylactic, stopping any count of counterplay. Now changing the track because queen d6 is coming. So you want to prepare now. Knight e2. Cut down any kind of activity from black. Very well played by Eligasi. So I'll go to the next game. Hello Sumankar. Happy Janmashtami. So we go to the next game of Eligasi. So a thumping success against a 27-54 player. This time Eligasi against the Indian compatriot GM Abhijit Gupta. In fact, London system is not so dangerous because it is quiet and no direct pressure. So black has two, three different setups. This is White is adopting a system very safe way. So I don't think should be worried, but I will discuss how to handle the London system. Now good move. The point is after it takes knight into, you gain a tempo, and now here the bishop check can come with clear superiority. The only move. Now the queen will come. Then this queen check will come. This is bad. Or you play here, then you have a superior position. Now in this position, you can take knight into bishop is a technical plus. Technical plus. So even here, pawn into also is annoying. So he doesn't want to take the bishop. Doesn't want. And here bishop, he doesn't want to take the bishop because after pawn into the knight is estranged. So it's a good move. There is no hurry. Black would have waited because sooner or later white will move the knight or he will play s3 to run away or move the knight somewhere. Then he can take. There was no rush to take this. Technical plus. White has got a technical plus because the c6 pawn is backward. Bishop into knight will only help the knight to come to d4. You are giving white, black cannot part with his strongest minor piece. Bishop into knight, pawn into give you plus minus. Plus minus. Because he is left with a good knight and inferior bishop. The knight has a posting. Good, a very active play. Now that he has played a bad move, the knight goes to e5 and he can settle the knight on f4 also. Now the point is, if you take the piece play, black will get some kind of piece activity. So restricting. Yet another good. No chance to take any f3 or something. Very well played. Excellent. Now g6 is also coming. So g6 you have to stop. The position is now plus minus. White has fortified the e5 point and white has got 3-2 majority. White has got 3-2 majority. So a pass pawn is guaranteed. A king pawn endgame or a minor piece endgame is lost for black. And knight is superior than the bishop. White's slight weakness on the king side, black cannot do anything. There is no piece to attack the weakened king side of white. Now black is white right in time want to get rid of the pieces. Forced because the f4 pawn is hanging. Forced takes. Now the point is the liquidation has helped black that he survived the immediate disaster. But with heavy pieces on the board, still there is problem. Now the file is in control, a4, a5 pawn, and then e file. So 3-2 majority. Want to neutralize. The idea is not attacking the pawn. Want to play rook e8 and exchange the piece. Welcome. Now the f4 pawn is falling. So the point is the passive play will lose. This sort of position will lose quickly. Queen check, queen c6. So black is desperately trying to get counter play. Now pawn push. Now with the idea queen takes pawn push, pawn push. So black's only trump is this one. Otherwise black is lost. But I need not. The king will take care. The king will block, or here. King will come here. King will come here, come here. Either this or this block. King, king. Now if you push the pawn, you will not get time. The reason is now there is no time to play some queen coming to d3, queen e3. That long before he will be finished. Okay, he will be completely wiped out because queen f4 is coming. So he can't do that. Was trying to open as many lines. Rocket, and now position should be winning, but we have to be very careful because queen ending there is always possibility of perpetual check. Counterplay. Check, check, finish. Now white is adding material. Two pawn up, and this pawn is also in danger. And there is a ready-made pass pawn possibility. With black king completely open and two pawns down, there is no hope. Check. He has no time to take. Queen into c6 is falling. Check, check. There is no check. Now you can see the threat is giving is check and check. What a beautiful way Erigasi calculated. I really admired from here onwards. I gave the reader to think how should you defend the position. Hello Ramakrishna. How much difference is there do you think between GM to 2700? Very simple. This question answer is very simple, Ramakrishna. Becoming a GM is a 2500 strength. I'm talking of actual GM, not fixed GMs. There are various, maybe there are around 5000 GMs at the moment, maybe, out of which 3000 are fixed. There are not, they either fixed one point or whole title, whole north. So I'm not talking of those fixed GMs. Actual GM is 2500 strength. But from 2500 to 2700, the difference is their depth of understanding and strategy and their technical expertise. They are better in tactics, better in endgame, better in strategy, especially better in end. For example, I'm giving you present this position. The position black is giving a threat. Black is giving a threat. So how should you play? How to meet the threat? How to meet the threat? Queen a8, Queen a7, Queen f7. Not the best rough. You calculate like Erigasi. Your partner is Erigasi, right? Queen a8 check. No, you have to give the full variation, not only one check. Please give the full supporting variation. Beautifully played. Hello, Lulu Bhalia, Lulu Bhaiya. So, beautifully played. Can somebody tell me, show me the variation? The finest move in the game. Hitesh Patel. No. The point is that you see, you should take the pawn with check. Then it is very easy. You take the pawn with check. So he will not allow you. So queen check, check. You cannot come up. you cannot come up. Okay, now goes down. Now this is the point. Now when you give a check and take the pawn, I will force a queen, a king pawn ending. Now the check does not work. Now here, and now this he cannot take the pawn going to this check. And the king pawn ending is hopeless because the pawn is quickly coming. Too slow. Black. So this is a wonderful way to play. Now check here. Or alternately, if you go down, then I have a check and then I can protect it, or I can give a check and come here. Control. Suppose you go back, there is nothing. Now I give a check, give a check, then I give the maybe here. What can I do here? Think, check. So you cannot go. And this looks like all right. The threat looks very important, but wonderful. The check is useless. Now he resigns because this is coming, and he resigned now. Beautifully played. Vilas Saha. Okay. Now, white is Erigasi, black is Grandmaster Polygrass, who has written nice 2 3 books on opening. You reporter for white, D4. Let's see. Enjoyed it. He puts his faith in the F3 system. So I've already discussed the plan, how black would play C5 or D5. I will show a nice game on this F3 played between Spassky and Georgiou. Pawn into pawn is bad. Queen exchange and knight coming to G4. Well played. Knight E5 threat. Stands back. Agrees that white black will regain the pawn, but white center and development is giving him clear better chances. Good move. Black will be unable to exploit the pinned rook on F2. There is no pieces coming, no pawn coming. So this is very well played. Space, maintaining the center. Now the E4 point was weak. Everything is now excellent. White has bishop pair, better center, and two bishops and versus two knight with good center and initiate. G5, the additional problem for black. It is necessary to exchange a pair of rook to release the pressure. Now the king is acting in the absence of the rooks. There is no danger to the king. Now queen exchange and bring the king to center and advance the pawns. Very easy. Preparing BG3. That queen exchange and technically winning. Advantage of bishop pair and a pass pawn on the sixth rank and active king. Now the knights are poorly placed. When they support each other, they take the square of each other and they can't move easily. They are poorly placed. When knights are like this, they are very poorly placed, supporting each other. Forced. Now king e3 again coming, lost. Two connected pawns in the center, pass pawns in the center, and an active king and pair of bishops. Not ready to give the bishop so easily. King f5 is coming. Knight c5 is useless. You can see two bishop, two knight, Botvinnik versus Bronstein. There are so many games. Then when the power of two bishops and with the help of the king, it's easy to press the initiate. You can see I can give you a game of Vaganian or somebody I showed earlier. There is not necessary to analyze because after the king moves, it's all over. One side. Very well played. Very well played by Legacy. Now I will tell you the game in this variation since you should not take it for granted the F3 line is the best. I will show a classical game. Right? Just a minute. I don't think so. Yeah, I would rather go on diagram. So that is better way. Say, Jarju. This is the game I wanted to show you. So here now he goes for C5 line. As I told you already, D5 is not good because of bishop into C3 check and followed by knight S5 or queen A5. So he goes for A3. Now pawn into pawn is bad. Bishop into C3 check and queen A5. And black is better. Queen A5 followed by knight A6, knight C5. Fantastic position. So already black is giving threat. Want to undermine the center. One of the main idea is to play pawn to B5 and undermine the D5 point. Now, after pawn into B5, this gives a clear edge. This gives a clear edge. So, because knight into knight D5 is there. So, you cannot accept that pawn. So, he plays B3. Now, black has established a queenside majority number one. So, technical plus is guaranteed at the end. And apart from that, activity is now coming from the center. It is not easy to dislodge the knight from center. It is bad to play, then the e4 point becomes an easy target. E4 point becomes an easy target. bishop c3 and e4. So you can't dislodge the knight easily. Now the point of the move is now you want to play. Now pawn push, he is worried that knight g4 may come. Now pawn push, since the king has castled, he will play knight. Now the now if you play like this, now there is lot of combination possibilities will come. There will be lot of possibilities of combination. What I was intending here, what I was intending to play, what he was intending to play here, bishop into knight, knight. That is why it is not advisable to allow the knight coming. So Grandmaster Georgiou plays h3 first. Idea next is threatening to play f4. But you know, Spassky, he was a great attacking player. According to Karpov, he is the greatest attacking player. And Fischer also. If you consider only attack, not endgame, not opening, not other subject, there are many various strategic points. But if you consider attack on the king, Spassky is the greatest ever. Because he had a feel for position where the opponent king come in trouble. And the strategic preparation for that. What I meant to say, suppose there is no chess clock, you remove and allow the players to think. And he is the greatest ever. Now Spassky finished this game brilliantly. White has a very sound pawn structure. There is only weakness is on G3 square. And there is a target on H. This is a target. And the square is weak. These are the two weaknesses on the king side. For example, if the pawn is on H2, the position is the evolution will change. The evolution will change. Now black's advantage that he can go to endgame. I already told you the queenside majority. The pressure on center. So Spassky comes out with a brilliant c4. Now this is their check force. Now the knight enters. Now the knight enters. The point is that when the queen comes here after the move, it's a mate. This is the strategic attacking plan. You cannot accept that. You cannot accept. Knight into. Hardly there is any answer for queen. No good way to stop. Bishop into knight, queen check, bishop s3, bishop into s3. And knight here, bishop into f. Winning. Overwhelming. So he can't accept that piece. So he comes here. Forced. Now, white's positional advantage as well as attacking chances are bright. 3-2 majority, bishop pair, and a bad king position of white. And the center. Now the game has turned to a positional struggle from attack. It shifted. Now the point is, black has the better center and the better bishop and the better player. Now the squares are weak around. So necessary because he is worried if next move rook c8, it is once it is over. So desperation. Tempo. Now challenge. If he exchanges, then both the files are in line. There is 2-1 majority and the king. Now this is bad. Now, apart from 2-1 majority, pass pawn, a weak pawn, and the king will come, king will come, king will come. And this is all coming. This is all coming. King blockade and this 2-1 majority. This is just one-sided. So, you cannot afford to exchange queen. Run. Again challenging. Run. Okay, the threat. Just a small. So, just a simple defense. Now, he will hover him around the dark squares. He will come here, so come here, file. actively. It is not necessary. He could have played this move also. This is also finishing quickly. But anyway, now the game is already won. There is no need to press. So he plays simple. Ultimately goes to the same set. What a centralization of black pieces. This pawn is not a pass pawn, it is a weak pawn. There is no chance that he will dislodge the queen from here. Now the position is bad, but it is difficult to advise in a bad position. There is no good way. Whatever you will do, it is going badly. It is going further down. The threat was rook here. The threat is take and check. So he comes here. Now double the rook. Check, check, bad threat, check. No time to give a discover. Finish. There is a mate threat in one move. There is a checkmate in one move, and discover check is only a spite check. Spite check. Mate is stopped, but pawn is gone. So it is beautifully played by Spassky. Why it is chart is not going? Going live. The white player crushed Fisher once in this line. Yes, yes. Ramakrishna. The white player beat Keres also. In the same tournament. In this Hastings 1965, Georgiou beat Keres. You know the line Georgiou beat Keres. I know the history. I know the history here. No. In C3, BB4, uh, F3. This position, Georgiou White and Keres Black in the same tournament, Hastings. So Spassky changed the track with C5. As I told you, F3 line, I prefer this. And now on this, I recommend to take bishop into knight and queen a5 with the idea d6 and d7 and e5. Or you can also play knight h5. Idea queen h4 check. No e4 coming. Maybe I should show that game. Maybe I should show that game. Right? Player won. You see, every player. So I also lost in some beginners. No, when I was played in Sangli, some unrated player I lost just making a blunder. Or in Bhubaneswar tournament, I was busy in organization, played very badly, lost to some very low rated players. So it doesn't matter. It happens to every great player. They also get some lesson sometime for being careless. Okay, that game I must show. This is worth seeing that NH5 line. Just a minute. I'll show you. Player, there is Zanari Kuzmin. It is a beautiful game. Zanadi and white is Farag. No, it is a different line. What the game I will show you Som, Istavan Som. I will show you the game of Istavan Som in the line. The line is D4 knight f6, C4 e6, C3 BB4, now F3 C5, D5 knight h5. This is the game I am talking about. Now look here. Now, as I told you, bishop into c3 and queen a5 gives a good game. But this is more, I mean, ambitious. I am not surrendering the bishop. The queen h4 check is threatened. So only move. ns3 may be a better alternative. ns3 may be a better alternative to beat queen check with knight f2. Okay, suppose you play ns3. There is no point in giving queen check, but I will play f5. Stopping e4. Okay. So in the game he played g3. Now he is encouraging e4 because already black king, white king side is in trouble. Black stands better. Look at the weak pawn configuration of white on the king side. Okay. So here knight e2 minus plus. Apart from 3-2 majority, the center is good control for black and the e file also. Up open e file. Only move. Now taking the pawn, there is problem of counterplay will come. The long diagonal and also the discover attack. So black is playing little cautiously. No hurry to take. Now he's trying to go after the d pawn. This BB sir. Now the position is minus plus. Apart from 3-2 majority, now the e3 pawn is under pressure, and there is also good chance for a king side attack. The position is minus plus. So okay, you can see the game for academic interest. Repeat. Waiting for him to commit. Just waiting for him to commit. And a weak square. The e5 square is weak. A protected pass pawn on c5, e5 square weak, and the b line. This position is lost. Bishop g4 is coming, and guaranteed king side attack. Bad. So you have a choice to play either bishop into c3, a reasonable game. Of course, there is lot of theory. I don't claim that this itself is good. You can play here knight h5 with the idea f5, later on castle, and you can also play bc3. All right, Olympiad games I return. I leave this. Next game, Erigasi versus Grandmaster Sevag. Now, this is a Geller system. Other day I told you the Geller system. Now, for example, now the knight is under pressure, and on knight you can play knight here. And if you play e4, because the threat is queen c6, the threat is the queen c6. You will drive the knight, but then if you play e4, then there is a more problem will come. So this is getting advantage, but legacy has other things in mind. e4. Now the threat on c7, you cannot afford to take the pawn, the c7, and queen c6 does not work. Bishop into e5 and queen into rook, knight c7 check. More modern way. Maintaining. Tactical melee he has entered. And pawn into queen into rook, the bishop is under attack. So the smoke is clear now. It is very clear that white has got the upper hand now. We cannot afford to take the knight, and black is underdeveloped with a weak pawn structure, with a loose pawn structure. The position is plus minus, I would say. It is a wrong idea. It is a wrong thing that white black is looking solace in exchanging queen going to an end game. Now it is even in end game. It is not an end game. It is a queenless middle game. So forced, no other way. Anyway, he is going down. Queen c5, knight e4, or knight a4 will pick up the piece anyway. Extra piece. And white defended very nicely. And one I need not comment. I can just show the game. The threat is knight c6 now. Rook b6, he has to stop. Returning the material with a decisive effect. Well, he cannot go. Any queen move, knight check wins easily. So only move. So white has the exchange up, and with a better solid pawn structure, it should win easily. Why black's compensation is not enough. One pawn. Very well played. Queen is running out of space. Everything is in our control. The queen alone cannot do anything. The black bishop on g7 plays no role, and the rooks will exchange. Now he won the game with excellent demonstration of defense. Excellent, well played again. Otherwise, the target comes f7. Now the f line, the f7 point. Amazing, amazing. I admired this move. The king is playing a role in the middle of the game. Should win. Normally, if the rooks are exchanged, the end game will be very difficult. Suppose you remove one pair of rooks, then black will able to hold the game. So white should avoid exchanging and create threats with his two rooks. Very simple logic. Cannot come back. He cannot play kg7 rook double on the sixth rank. Forced. Want to displace the bishop, so rook c7 can come. Bishop d6 is not good. Bishop d6 it is not good. Rook c6 or rook a5 and rook a7. Totally passive. Now seventh rank, even king. This is also should be winning. This also should win easily. Well, black lost patience, but anyway it slowly went down. And winning, there is no perpetual. Because the rook pawn is protected, there is no perpetual. Now bishop is attacked, only move, finish. Now it is a mating attack. Rook check and rook g7 and mating attack. Idea, rook h6 and mate. Now you cannot take the pawn. Rook will fall after two checks, and the simple plan is rook check and all over. All right. So I will leave this and this resign. One more game of Erigacy. A line which Kasparov played and successfully against Nigel Short and I think also against Serper I think. So here the idea is not developing knight because he wants bishop d3, knight e2, f3 and knight g3 etc. The plan is now he wants to play pawn f3, then knight e2, knight coming, castle, and then eventual after castle, eventual e4 will come and e5. This is the standard plan. Bad move. This is a bad move. The reason is black actually has entered a line. He should complete now. Best is to play knight to f8 and try to exchange the dark square. Even knight h5 is reasonable. Knight h5 is also possible. So this is bad, weakening the structure without any strategic achievement. Backward pawn, pay the penalty for playing b5. A first weakness on d5. When there is IQP, where one must have active pieces, activity. There is no activity by black now. B7, bishop is passive. There is no compensation for the weakness. No counterplay. Well played. Now, when there is IQP, the focus point is square in front of the pawn. Now, when there is IQP, the focus point is square. Who has got more control? That is very important. Now, white has got solid control. White has got 4 5 control there. I cannot understand. I cannot understand. If you have to explain such a what what the queen is doing a3, only he can explain. Exchanging every exchange, the end is coming closer for black. Every exchange, black will go down. I guess this is not necessary. He can consolidate queen d2 back and play easily. But you know the young grandmasters, they are very good in calculation. So there was this weakness is unwarranted. So I must say that one must not do such weakness when already having a plus position. What is that question? Sicilian fortnight. Why do we take IQP and trade minor pieces? The point is, you know, the Sicilian four knights, there is an IQP and there is some attacking chances because you can see that move A3, B4, BB2. Okay, I told you that player with IQP should keep more pieces in the board so that he will have activity. Now there are few features you should know. Suppose a player with IQP, normally white gets advantage because all his pieces are coordinated, active. He looks for a D5 break at some time and open lines he exploits. Unlike this position. Okay, I will discuss if there is time for Sicilian 4 night. I will also tell. 1 minute, please. Combination. Now, the combination is not win material, but give bad pawn structure. I think the exchange of queen was called for. The simple way, this position is simple. If you play bishop queen into queen, king into, now f4 plus. Now I would like to say that in this point, a pawn should have been here. Because always I can control the g4 square. That is why I criticize the move. Even this is plus because I have superior bishop. You know, this is a better bishop, bad bishop. And if you play again, this is a weak pawn. Technically plus, there is no entry for the rook. But anyway, young players want to maintain queen and play for more. G6 pawn. You can't play king h7, queen h5 is coming. Necessary. If you delay knight f3 and you will have iron grip. Once the knight f3 comes, he will have iron grip on the e5 square. Still white is better, but black has some kind of activity because of h4 pawn, weakened the g4 square. Never mind, still it is winning. Now rook into was not great. After rook into, queen f4 was there. And he won the game brilliantly. Cannot take that. Cannot take. Everything set right. Bad position. Forced. Queen cannot move. Queen cannot move. Rook into knight and knight check picks up a piece. If queen moves, rook f8 wins material. And betting at. Two rooks, bishop and knight, betting at. The finish is very cute. Check, check. And mate is unstoppable. Look at this. Okay. Sicilian poor knight were asking me. Knight b5. Now bb4 is the main line. Now this is a bad move. King e7, black better. So a3 is the main line. Okay. Now bd3. Now this knight is not good. This is not good because it will lose lot of advantage. Take and bf5. Take queen check. And black is out of all his problems. So normally the knight comes to e2. So you can castle here. You can play knight f4 as well or castle as well. Now bg4 is one line, or you can play queen d6, going away from the pin. Here black can play h6. This is one possibility. He can play bishop g4. This is one second possibility. In any case, now the pawn is weak, and white is trying to surround it with b4, bb2, and then b5. This is one of the plan. So if you play bg4, f3 is good. Now here f3 is good. Now I will get rid of the bishop. And as I told you, the plan of b4, bb2, then you will go after the pawn. So IQP, the pieces exchange will give advantage to the other side. This is plus. Alternately, you can go. I would say here. I would say here queen d6 is h6. Now queen d6 is an interesting because if you play bf4, then I play queen d5. So this is anyway white is better. So I will leave this discussion. Go to Olympiad games. The next is a nice game by David Navarra. Not a good move. One cannot afford to waste. Now this the game taking a French character with a tempo down. Now the game will take a French character. So the best way is to take this and play a3. I think as I remember, first I saw a game of Vasily Ivanchuk long back. This is giving clear advantage because after bishop takes pawn, queen g4 comes, b4 comes, a tempo. So you have to recover the pawn only. Now there is a problem. Now queen b6 is not working. Queen b6, knight s3, tempo. I mean next move b4. So you have to come. King f8 is terrible. You cannot play such moves and survive. And on g6, I can so many weaknesses are there. Maybe b4 is plus minus enough. So you can't do that. So here he plays knight e7, hoping to get some counter action. White has enjoying lot of space. Sometimes the possibility of Greek sack cannot be overruled. Greek gift, not Greek sack, Greek gift. Bishop into s7, queen s5, knight g5. So he stops that. You can press the matter like pawn to h4 also, which is not bad. Pawn to h4 is also good idea, initiative. But Grandmaster Navara, David Navara plays very cool. I think in a bad position, a bad move. Already, Black is having a bad position, bad center, bad development, and a further bad weak move. Forced, forced. Now, what a miserable pawn structure. Bad move, further bad move. Go away from center, go away. There is no time to take the b7 pawn. You'll finish. There is no time to take knight into b5 because after queen e7 and I think I saw a finish. What the finish will be? Because knight g5 is entering. After it takes the pawn, I think bv4 will bring the quick end. After knight into b5, bishop b4 will bring a quick end to black. So threat bishop e7. Threat bishop into h6, h8 and mate. Threat. This time the threat is queen into pawn. Now non-stop threat is giving. How many threats in a row? Threat 1, threat 2, threat 3, threat 4. This time the threat is queen into pawn. For example, let us say you take knight into pawn. There is a mate. 1, 2, check, check, mat, sakmat. So you cannot, the non-stop threat, non-stop threat. So only move. Again giving the threat. Now in f7 you have queen into. The threat of bishop into h8 only move. Now in f7 cannot come, queen into g6 only move. Still he cannot come in f7. Mate. Now the threat on pawn into f5 and winning only move. Brilliant. It's all over. A great game by played in great style, David Navara. The knight is under attack. I don't think he can do both pieces. One piece gone. This is hopeless. Pawn into. What beautiful, beautiful mate. A picturesque diagram. Knight check, pawn check. Beautifully played. After this, pawn mate. Yadi mate. और नो साइड सर मिडिल नेम कैसे हेलो वो बता वही तो मैं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ दैट इज व्हाट आई एम डिस्कसिंग आई एम आफ्टर द ओपनिंग आई एम शोइंग द प्लान आई एम showing about weakness exploitation if king is weak you have to attack if the pawn is weak you focus on there If the square is weak, you defend. If opponent square is weak, you have, so मैं वही दिखा रहा हूँ. That is what I am saying. How to play the middle game. Okay, maybe I am going little faster because if you are watching the Olympiad games, I expect you are intermediate player. So I am not going to the every very basics. I am going little advanced. So standard main line of Karukan, a line which was popularized by Alexis Suro. One of the main idea that after E6, now the C5 break. So this is the point. I am intending to stop the C5 break. Now 1, 2, 1, 2, watching, and the third one also can. So without C5 break, black cannot get counter. Okay, he can now allow, but there will be a lot of weakness around. Now there will be a lot of weaknesses around. After C5 pawn into knight C5 bishop check. So is a prophylactic move. Now C5 is preparing. Welcome. Threat. You have to notice every time threats are coming. So he comes here. Welcome to exchange. Welcome to push. C4 is a strategic mistake. Releasing pressure from D4 point. Now D4 is good. No pressure. So I don't mind coming back and consolidate back. There is no pressure on the center. C4 is a strategic error. After I come back, after I come back and regroup, I am going to play B3 also. So not a good move. Want to use the D4 square. The idea of the move. Now use the D4 square. Taking the pawn is just suicidal. Accepting the pawn, then bishop h5. गड़बड़ हो जाए. This is rook into e6. His knight is coming. Question is hopeless, hopeless. There are two threats, knight into thread and rook into thread. So you can't accept. So only move. Again only move. One of the idea is to fix the queen side, a5 later on, and the rook can be mobilized on the a4 square. Or queen also. Now bishop pair and space. White advantage is clear. But that that player, what I will just tell you, is Abudo Sataro. He won the world rapid and he has a good positional understanding. One second, eh? One second. So here, very systematically, the point is that young players they have mastered the art of pressing a small advantage. Now white advantage is clear. Now black has no easy counterplay, so improving the position strength through strength, from better position to further better position. Regrouping. This is the point. Restriction of opponent minor piece is a golden rule. The knight has no space. Getting choked slowly, no counterplay. Of course, even queen exchange was also possible. The white advantage is clear, but queen on the board, he can create more threats. Rook e3 is coming now. A strategic error. This is a strategic error because now the c4 break he cannot take. The bishop on e4 is hanging. Next after c5, Now next move c5. Now these three pieces simply having it is on the board like spectator. No activity. At least if the pawn was there, at least there is some pressure. This is not coming easily. So the game is anyway lost. But I would say that black should try at some point of time some break on maybe he should play queen back and f6. Queen come back and then play f6. No, queen is also not good. I think the position I am not happy to go suggest anything. So very bad. c5. Rook on third right. Now white is practically playing with four pieces. Two rook, bishop, queen. Black pieces are not coming. It's one sided. One sided. That pawn will fall anyway. Playing in Murphy style. I remember I saw a game of Paul Murphy, maybe 50 years back. I will recall that game. A pawn break. Now Rook G3. Defend, defend. Then Bishop into B8 and Queen into. It's over. Maybe I should show that Murphy game since I referred. I remember where it is. I remember. It's over. It's over now. Mate is following. Right? And he will lose lot of material and all in a bad position. King pawn ending. After move, rook exchange, forced to exchange heavy pieces, then 3-2. Now whatever do rook d7. Even after this also rd7, no matter. Then I will exchange both the pieces and then b5, then c6, b5 wins. I will show the Murphy's game. I will come back to Olympiad game. Yes, I have. Not this. Not this. This game also. Paul Murphy was a great genius. Horrible. Or now the position is overwhelming. Check, pin, Murphy style d6. He loses material by force now. You have to take, if you decline bf8, long castle, it is all over. Will take anyway long castle. Now any bishop move, he will hammer on f6. Any bishop move, bishop into f6 and losing material. And if you play with queen, then rook into d6, another rook. Lost. Now bishop move loses, bishop into f6. And if you support it, rook into d6 and another rook. Fantastic. Uzbekistan GM. Actually, it is unfortunate that Bukas won 8 games in a row and he lost the ninth game in a winning twist. It is really unfortunate. You know. The law of average is that there will be always a turnout. One of my friend, he had 8 losses in national league in a row. In the beginning, round 1 to round 8, he lost. It was a 19 round tournament. Then I.M. Raja Ravisekhar told law of average says he is going to break that stream and beat. And who is the first victim? That means the player is the most dangerous. He's a wounded tiger. So he is going to beat. So it's very dangerous if a player is lost so much. So here Bukas has a row 8 wins. So law of average, you have to be careful. Okay, he is following the path what he has played earlier also. White has advantage. Maybe it was better to play knight e4 and get rid of the bishop. It was more advisable to play knight e4 and take an important bishop. So he did not bother. So he played saved it. This is the point of black. Now the weak square. White stands slightly better. The point is after e4 pawn is captured, that c5 is a target. White has a pass pawn. You need to capture. You cannot allow, black cannot afford to allow this e5 move. So only blue. Very well played. There is no doubt that white has got a technically winning position. Though the material is equal, white advantage is clear. The grip on center and a passer and a c5 target. Back rank is only issue. Maybe it is you should just clear the back rank with one s3. Then you are free to operate. No need to press batters. Simple s3 was called. So you cannot take the knight is immune because of back rank. The position is winning. Attack. Now the point is knight into pawn. Then there is some counter action. Okay, because check is coming. So white played f3 with the idea bring the king to e2. Now the simple winning plan. Now it is not easy for black to the because the queen is watching the square and that this is under pressure. This is a winning position. All you need now shift the king to e2. Thereafter it is easy winning. So he plays that plan. I think this is also possible. Maybe king e2 a safer alternative. Okay, this is winning because after queen check there is nothing. The king will slip to f2 g1 and s2. There is nothing. So he gives this. Now white is a pawn up 3-1 on the queen side. It should be easily win. I don't know the time factor. The time pressure could have been on an issue. There is no need. There is no need to do this. Even knight e4 is winning. Even king e2 idea, knight d3 is winning. No, I think this is the safest course. Safest course. This is the safest course. Easily winning. But I don't need. You don't need to push. Time. I don't know. I did not check the time. How much time both players had this present. Why not take the b4 pawn? Knight into b4. Probably extreme time trouble. Simple knight b4. I don't see counterplay. b3 is protected. The knight will come easily. This is also not bad. Check, of course, still the win is achieved. Counterplay. Very unfortunate that in a winning position he probably got into time trouble. These are all the moves are of very low category. I mean, uh, weaker and must have time trouble period must have a role in this. You need to see. Unfortunately, this position would have changed the medal tally to silver. At this point, I'm talking. This is a winning position. All right, I go to the next game. This time, Lucas White against Grandmaster Bakaturo. Semitaras. This is transposed to Henning Sarakan. Now pawn into after knight into you can play e4. Even e3 is also little better for white. And after e4, knight into pawn into then check bd bd2 bd2 and now queen a5 is possible or bishop into bishop and castle is also possible. Anyway, white is little better. In any case, white position is better. Like Polvas, Kital, you can say Keres fine. Like there are so many grandmasters have demonstrated uh, Spassky Petrosian, but here he plays Henning Sarakin. Now, black has a weakness and insufficient activity for that. So it is not a good position, not a very pleasant position for black to get this kind of setup from opening. So that vacating the square for knight, nd4 and ne6 is a positional threat. Just gave saving the b2 pawn and recovering the material. Well played. Now the material factor may be equal, but white's piece activity. Strategically, we should think that king position. Here the king is safe, surrounded by his all own pieces. King a2, rook d1. The center, white better. Piece activity. There is no question who is better. Bishop attack. F7 pressure. Go back. Now the idea now no question of any tactical opportunity. The c2 is controlled. Now sweet home. He is simply preparing to go inside and home. Sweet home. I don't see any kind of activity by black for being too pawn down. A safe king, a solid pawn structure, and good control of open lines for white. It is overwhelming with a miserable knight on a7. It is very well played. You cannot accept rook check. There is no rook d7. If he takes it, rook check, or even queen h7. No, no. I think he cannot accept it. I have to see why he cannot accept it. Rook into. Now check. If king into, rook, or rook into bishop, and then rook into rook, picking up material. So he cannot take it. So he comes here. Finish. It's all over. There will be one or two checks. There is nothing. There is one or two checks. Makes no sense. No more check and mate threat. E8 mate threat. You come dragged, it is mate anyway. Rook D7 mate. Or queen check and no, you can't come. All lost. So, hello, can you tell us the parameter and further requirement needed in a player is selected in Olympiad team? It's very easy. The answer is easy, but the task is difficult. If you want to be in Olympiad team of a country, let us say India, you have to become national champion. That is one parameter. And the other thing is that you have to come in the top six rated players in the country. Top six. Normally, the highest rated players only will national championship. The team consists of six players. So you have to come within the top six rated players of the country. Practically, it means you have to cross a 2700 rating. Then, as of today, you are in the Indian team. That is the parameter. So, if our players go higher, then there will be more. So, top six in the rating list, then you are in the team. That is the parameter. Very well played game by Lucas. Now, this is Lucas again. I cannot understand why players play such bad moves when there is other moves like, and this is, you know, this is actually normal d6, d4, cd. You will transpose to classical. Now at least e6, at least e6 will transpose to one of the variation in Sicilian Khan, but bad move. And d6 threat, white position is clearly better. Double bishop with grip on the center. Total grip of white squares. You can see a position, you can call it an advantage of color complex as well. Because knight b5, knight b4 and take the bishop is even hopeless. Backward pawn, simply he will double. White has two plan here. He can try to prepare a pawn storm on the king side or try to pile up on the d6 weakness. It is as good as surrender. One pawn down with a bad position. Rook d8 does not help. And posted, if you want to open the game, it will be bad. After pawn e4, queen e4, bb2, that is much more easier for white to have a pawn storm on the king side. Even the b5. Now bishop into f7. No, no. It cannot come now. For example, pawn e4 takes bb2, bf7 is there. So the end game is hopeless. Hopeless. The reason is white king comes faster. After f3, there is no break, nothing. The king comes and 3-2 majority. Already a pawn down and a bad position. Stopping any kind of counter action. Now he decided to go to rook ending. Because in rook ending, sometime a pawn down he can survive, but this is winning because white king is active. Create a pass pawn. Now 2-1. Simply a pass pawn. I don't see this needs does not need any further comment. Lost. So this is actually I would say white has won, but I would say black has lost by playing bad series of bad moves himself. Of course, white will take advantage of this. And one more game left. It's a fantastic game. Thematic, a very good middle game theme. This is neither shot variation. Just simply b2 castle, white has better game. There is another plan also here. Instead of playing this, white can prepare to play c4 and c3. White can prepare here c4 and c3. White did not do weakening, to restrict the knight. You can play c4. Next move is c3 with advantage. Here, this is okay. Returning pawn takes pawn and b4. So it has taken a character of French advanced position, pawn structure, with the bishop outside the pawn. Now, this if the bishop is inside, it is a French position. But the outside the pawn still white space and advantage in time is clearly superior for him. I don't think it's good idea to do this plus minus. Tempo, you cannot afford to play f5. You can't play f5. Then knight f3 and h4 and bishop c5 will kill him. He will be completely choked. Good move. Because black has only one good piece, you want to get rid of that. Very good planning he is doing, I will tell you at this point. Building, consolidating the position systematically. So h4 is guarded, king g2 can come later. Now, the topic is to attack the king. You can see the unsafe king. There are so many targets. This is white has all advantage, good pieces, good pieces. So, how to go about it? So, white finds an excellent plan. Now, bd2, simply doubling the rook on the targeting e6 point. A bad. The idea of the move is to not only pressure, he wants to come queen here, exchanging then no more attack. Suppose white is doing nothing, black's strategy is good. The pawn is attacked, then queen will come, rook c8 will come. He will get rid of his problem. So I suggest now please find out a way. How will you explain f3 to anyone, to a beginner? It is not a fundamental rule. Okay, I will come back to the diagram later. Rath, I will come back. Now the point is, the strategy of black is fine. He is preparing queen c4, rook c8, and there is no attack. But everything changes. The point is, the defense of black is based on the bishop is out, then you can easily freely operate. So b4, cutting down, totally bringing no coordination between the black pieces. Black's harmony is broken, forced. Now rook c1 and enter, 7th rank. Rook c1 with a decisive attacking. Okay, rook c7 threat, trying to cover up. Now rook into e6 threat. So is meeting. The point is, after now rook, the point finished. The knight is overloaded. White takes advantage of the fact that the knight is overloaded to defense. So after the knight check, you have to take the rook check. You can no knight f5. Check. Knight f5 is not working. The c8 rook is hanging. Rook into. And now, if you take it, mate in 3. Take queen check, rook check, mate. Mate in 3. So, only move, but there is no. So, it is horrible. Exchange down and bad position. This is lost. Okay. There was a question. There was a question. Yes. Saunak Pujara found the correct answer BD4 at that time. Right answer. So, how to explain this? No? Basic fundamental rules. Now I will tell you. Normally, the standard procedure here is to play A6. Why? Because now the whole plan is if you play directly, then BB5 check can come giving some point. So A6 is there, ND7 is there, preparing for break. But this is not correct. The whole point is how to go about it. He is preparing to exchange. The main idea that you want to exchange some pieces. And if you provoke like this is bad. You are weakening the squares. Then you will come, then you will play H5. You will play H5, H4. So we should avoid such temptation. Now, how to meet? You want to exchange the piece. So that is why I want to avoid. And now I am preparing. Apart from the plan, now I am preparing to expand. The knight has moved to make a pawn stop. The point is, if I can get someday, it is a dream. Chess is imagination. White is imagining that his pawn will come one day to F5. So freeing the pawn. Now I want to avoid the idea. I don't want to do. I don't want to do even bishop g5 is not a good idea. He will play queen, then he will play b7. So this is not working. And this is a bad idea. So this is the correct antidote. Now I am threatening to trap the piece. So you are forced to move the knight or weaken the king. King's side. Now this move, he comes stopping the threat and also giving a threat. This is the point. Now you have to stop. If you go back again, you go back. It is admission of error. And suppose you go back, I am going to play c2 and d7. I will play c3. White has an advantage. Space, time, everything. So it's necessary. Necessary. Anyone I am giving a threat. Force position is plus minus. Space and also grip on the center. I hope I hope it is clear. All right. So I have showed you the games of Olympiad. What other question was there? One more question. Somebody, just a minute. Just a minute. Somebody asked me. Ah, okay. It's Ramakrishna's question. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, friends. And I will be back tomorrow, same time for the lesson on Olympiad Games, part 4. I hope you enjoyed the analysis, and I will come with more interesting games and instructive games also. Take care, everybody. सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Bye. Happy Janma.